Let's take tonight's starting lineups. First for the Bulldogs. At guard, a 5'5" junior from Queens, number 2, Michelle Pena. At guard, a 5' senior from Whitehall, Pennsylvania, number 22, Taylor George. At forward, a 5'10" freshman from Brooklyn, number 24, Sarah James. Center, a 6'4" freshman from New York City, number 30, Sarah Liggett. And a 5'8" freshman from Brooklyn, number 32, Erica James. Brooklyn's head coach is 18th year, Alex Lang. The assistant coaches, Mia Sedaris, Caroline Herring, and Rocco Solito. Now this evening's starting lineup, the Baruch Bearcats. At guard, a 5'9" sophomore from Bridgehampton, number 1, Nia Dawson. At guard, a 5'3" junior from Pine Plains, number 3, Francis Snyder. At guard, a 5'6" junior from Staten Island, number 25, Baruch Spanier. At forward, a 5'6" sophomore from Long Beach, number 14, Caitlin Rivera. At guard, a 5'6" senior from Queens, number 20, Samira Ahmed. Bearcats head coach in his second season, Michael Petrosis. The assistant coaches, Olivia Corbridge and Kristen Clements. Now let's play ball. Just a reminder, Luke and Uniac, sportsmanship, all our student athletes, coaches, and spectators. Athletes, sexist comments, arrests, elected officials, athletes, coaches, and team reps will not be tolerated. The consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages and tobacco products is prohibited, and entering the court at any time is also prohibited, may lead to arrest. In addition, artificial noisemakers, air horns, and electronic amplifiers are not permitted. Thank you and enjoy the next game.
This is Baruch and this is the other team.
Yeah, so you could test this, see? And then here. Okay? And then the clock, there you go, start and stop. I'm going to watch how you do it.
This is start, this is stop.
Yeah.
From 3-4 years ago. Should be fun to watch.
No, don't.
Get a rest of the
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another CUNYAC matchup here at the Arc Arena between your Baruch Bearcats women's basketball team and the Bulldogs of Brooklyn College. So we are just about underway here, and Brooklyn's going to win the tip. And that's going to be a rebound by Dawson. Brooklyn no good there on their first possession. Dawson takes it up past the timeline. Gives it off to Francis Snyder. Now back to Dawson. Samir Ahmed now calling out the offense. Bearcats looking to slow it down a little bit here. Dawson makes a nice inside move there. Over Sarah Labiner down low in the paint. Able to finish there. Bearcats strike first. Lead 2-0. Pena working on Francis Snyder. Dished out to the corner. Back out up top to Taylor George. She pulls up from 3. No good. Rebound Spayu, and she'll push it up quickly for the Bearcats. Spayu going into the lane. A lot of contact. And she's going to go to the line to shoot, too. Spayu's good on the first. And she'll knock down the second. Bearcats lead 4-0. Cross-court pass, dangerous one there. And that one's going to go into the Bearcats bench, and Baruch will regain possession. Nia Dawson nearly intercepted that one, but she didn't touch it, so this one's going to be Bearcats' ball. Spayu now working down James, rolling off a screen from Rivera. Nice up and under move, just that one rolls off, and Brooklyn will get the ball back. Nice ball movement there by the Bearcats, though. Pena now up top. Just out to George in the corner. Fed to James on the inside. Now they're going to Labiner down low. Back to James. Kicked out. for James. Erica James knocks that one down in the corner, and Brooklyn chipping away at that Bearcat lead as they're coming with a full court press here on Samir Ahmed. That one's kicked out by the Bulldogs, but you see that definitely appears to be the approach here defensively. Dawson inbounds to Spyu. Back up top to Ahmed. Corner three from Francis Snyder, no good, rebounded by James. Dawson applying a lot of pressure. Brooklyn able to get it past half court. Back out up top to James. High arcing pass to Taylor George in the corner. George looking for a little bit of movement here. Back out to Pena. Now to James. Shot clock running out here, closing in on the 5-second mark. George throws it up off glass, and it's good. So Brooklyn takes the lead 5-4. Here with 7:17 remaining in the first quarter. Nice little give and go there by Snyder and Ahmed, but Ahmed kind of handcuffed Snyder there. She kicked that one out of bounds, and now the ball's going to go back to the Bulldogs. Brooklyn looking to string together now 3 offensive conversions. George at the top, back to James. Fed to Labiner on the inside. Nothing there. Kick back out to James. 3-ball off front rim. No good. Rebounded Dawson. She's taken up pretty quickly here. Francis Snyder looking from 3. Decides not to go for it. Kicked out to Samir Ahmed. Now back out to Snyder. She'll pull up from 3. No good. Offensive rebounds Dawson, but she's blocked by Labiner. And Pena will push it up quickly here for Brooklyn. They're going to Labiner on the inside there. That pass is picked off by Samir Ahmed. She'll take it the full distance of the court, and she's able to finish. Nice play there by Samir Ahmed as the Bearcats now lead 6-5. Another cross-court pass there. Well, that one's good. From number 24, Sarah James with the 3-pointer. A lot of back-and-forth basketball here as Taylor George picks that one off. Pena going for it. Blocked by Snyder. Offensive rebound, Brooklyn. And then corralled by the Bearcats. So pretty crazy sequence of events there. No points from Brooklyn. Nia Dawson looking for a screen. Rivera gives her exactly that. She'll pull up from the jumper, and that one is good. Another tie ball game in what's been a lot of back-and-forth basketball here early on in the first quarter. Pena calling out the offense here for the Bulldogs. Back up out top to Pena. She'll pull up from 3. And the ball's going to go out of bounds, and this one will go back to Baruch. Double sub here for Brooklyn. Dasha Goodman and Kaylin Richburg both checking in for the Bulldogs here. Spy looking to push it past the timeline. Brooklyn coming with a lot of pressure. She's able to do so. Francis Snyder now goes back to Spyu. Nice pass to Samira Ahmed. Long 2, and she knocks that one home. The Bearcats with a really formidable opponent here in Brooklyn College, looking very good early on as Taylor George going off glass. No good. Rebounded Spyu. Actually loose ball. And this one's going to stay with Brooklyn. That'll bring in number 15, Daniela Zerpolo, checking in for Caitlin Rivera. But again, a tall order here for the Bearcats today. Brooklyn coming into this one 16-6 on the year, 11-0 CUNYAC. So can the Bearcats be their first CUNYAC loss? We shall see. Goodman on the inside, rebound to Spyu. Nice body position there by Melinda Spyu to counteract some of that height difference down low. Daniela Zerpolo going up. She is blocked by Richburg. Very quick basketball here as Taylor George going to the rack hard. No good. Rebounded Nia Dawson. Tons of back and forth basketball. Now Francis Snyder fed inside to Daniela Zerpolo. Back out to Snyder. Here's Samira Ahmed. She's driving. Up and under, move off glass, and it's good. Bearcats now have a 4-point lead with 3:52 remaining here in the first quarter. So Richburg slowing up the offense here, and rightfully so, as this one's been pretty much back and forth for the last 2 minutes. There's Goodman in the corner, high arcing three, and she rattles that one home. So once again, once the Bearcats get a nice little lead going for themselves, Brooklyn responds with the 3 ball. And just like that, it's 12-11. So Brooklyn coming with the press, but definitely not 100%. Here's Dawson pulling up off back rim. She gets her own rebound. Into contact, no good. Offensive rebound, Daniela Zerpolo. Here's Spayu at the top. Spayu working down George. Handed off to Zerpolo. George picks up. Now Francis Snyder working on the inside. Creates separation from Melinda Spayu. She goes up off glass, and it's good. Melinda Spayu. Now Richburg working down Snyder. George pump fake. Kick back out to James. High three. Knocks that one down. And count the 3 ball for Brooklyn because we are all tied here once again, 14-all. And Brooklyn defensively, they're coming with a little bit of pressure, but it's really just more so putting bodies in front of Bearcats rather than going full court with that press. So Baruch able to break that one down after it's nearly picked off by Taylor George, and the Bearcats are able to convert on the other end. And they regain the lead once again.
Behind their basket. So far, very quick pace of the game. Only 2 fouls total.
So Brooklyn will inbound. It's going to be Richburg. She'll go back out to Goodman. Goodman looking to feed Labner inside, but that one's picked off by Nia Dawson after she takes a lot of contact, and that's going to be a loose ball foul on Brooklyn. That one's going to Richburg, and the Bearcats will regain possession underneath their own basket.
Richburg has got her hand in. 2:05 remaining in the first quarter. Bulldogs lead trailing 16-14. Spayu coming up. Bulldogs playing good full court pressure defense. Spayu brings it across the line to Polo. Snyder, long three. No good. Side of the line. Ball lost it. But the ball went out of bounds. Bulldogs got a lucky break.
And the Bulldogs get a pretty lucky break there as that one goes out of bounds.
Behind her, and Ahmed almost cherry-picked her, but ball goes out of bounds. Brooklyn will keep possession, 1:46 to go here in the first quarter. Bulldogs trailing 16-14. Inbounding the ball, this is Goodman. Top of the key for Taylor Richburg. Richburg slices and dices, couldn't get the ball back out.
And Richburg going into contact there, unable to finish, but she's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
The foul's called against Ahmed.
Foul's going to be on Samir Ahmed. And Brooklyn has the opportunity to tie here with 1:43 remaining in the first quarter. That's also going to bring in Millie Yee, who's been one of the Bearcats' top scoring options throughout the past few games.
2 shots at the line. First free throw is up. It's good.
First one good from Richburg. And a little surprising to see Millie Yee just checking into the game now. As I just mentioned, she's been one of the Bearcats' primary scorers. And Richburg knocks down the second. So once again, we are all tied here at the Arc Arena. Again, Brooklyn bringing a little bit of pressure. Nothing crazy, though, as Spayu is able to back them down. Now pass to Snyder. Snyder goes to Zerpolo. Back out up top. Spayu looking for a shot. She dribbles inside, creating a little bit of separation, but that one's knocked away, and they're going to call a foul on Brooklyn, so it'll be Bearcats ball. Taylor George checking back in now for Kaylin Richburg. And Melinda Spayu inbound for the Bearcats. She's going inside to Dawson, off glass, rolling around, no good, rebounded Labiner. And Dawson bringing a ton of pressure still, as Brooklyn's able to get it past half court, but that one's picked off by Spayu and recovered by Zerpolo. She'll now lead Francis Snyder. Nice quarterback pass. Snyder has to just kind of throw it up. And Dawson's going to get fouled, so she'll go to the line to shoot two. A little bit of a crazy possession there for the Bearcats, but a nice job following up with the offensive rebound. And Snyder forcing Brooklyn to foul. So now the Bearcats will have the opportunity to take the lead. And Dawson's good on both. So it's been a really good first quarter of basketball here in the first half of the CUNYAC doubleheader between Baruch and Brooklyn College. Both offenses firing pretty well here in the first. A lot of key defense for the Bearcats have kept them definitely in it, and now they have the lead closing in on the 1 minute mark. Millie Yee giving in some good defense here. Taylor George, pump fake, kicked out to Goodman. Three ball is short, but that one is rebounded by Trembone underneath the rim, and she's able to finish. So once again, we're tied here. Bearcats breaking down the press. Here's Zerpolo going off glass, trying to get over Labiner there. No good, and this one will stay with Baruch. 28.1 remaining and 20 left on the shot clock. So just about an 8-second separation. Bearcats definitely have a little bit of time to create a quality possession here. Dawson will hand it off to Millie Yee. Now to Spayu. Spayu at the top. Shot clock winding down to 5 seconds now. Spayu backing down her defender. She went to kick it out to Millie Yee, going for one of her jump steps. And unfortunately, she hit the ground before she was able to get the pass off. So that's going to be a travel. And the Bulldogs will regain possession now with 9 seconds left on the clock. Here's Trembone. She's trying to work inside. Looked a little bit like a walk there, but again, a lot of things going on with the clock winding down. This one's going to stay with Brooklyn. Nancy Pham will now inbound. And the Bulldogs are going to have to be pretty quick here if they want to get something off. Taylor George, double dribble, going up to Spy. And no good there. She was guarded pretty heavily there by Francis Snyder. So after 1 quarter of play, we are tied here at the Arc Arena, 18-all. We'll be back in a few moments with the second quarter of play. So we are back here live at the Arc Arena for the second quarter of action between Baruch and Brooklyn College. Really good first quarter of play, and we'll see if both teams can really keep up the intensity on both sides of the ball. Spahey working on James here. A pick from Dawson. Kicked out to Zerpolo. 3-ball. Knocks that down. Daniela Zerpolo gets the Bearcats back on the board as they now lead 21-18. Taylor George. Cross-course pass to Pham. Kick back out to Pham. Guarded by Spahey. Back to George. Here's James. Now Jermott down low. Finds James cutting back, and Melinda Spahey takes the charge. And we've seen her do that time and time again. Melinda Spahey is just about as good as they come in college basketball at planting her 2 feet and taking the contact. And there's definitely a really fine line between a blocking foul and a charge, but somehow Spahey, pretty much on a game-by-game basis, is able to draw those charge calls. So now the Bearcats will get the ball back, look to capitalize here. Spahey slowing up the offense. Back out to Zerpolo. Dawson now driving. She's going off glass, rolling around the front rim. No good. Rebounded Jermott. As Spahey and Dawson apply a lot of pressure. That ball almost got picked up in transition. Pham will go back out up top to Trombone. Now kick back out to Pham in the corner. She's going to Jermott on the inside. Jermott working down Dawson off glass, and it's good. So that's going to be a timeout from Coach Catrozos here to kind of talk things over and see how they're going to counteract this different look from Brooklyn College. So we'll be back in a few moments after this 30-second timeout. So we are back underway here. 8:23 remaining in the second quarter. And Brooklyn bringing a pretty tough press here, but the Bearcats able to break it down. And now Millie Yee looking for a lane, but Taylor George able to get back on defense. Snyder now working on Jermott inside. Kicked out of bounds, and this one's going back to Brooklyn. Again, you've been seeing Brooklyn kind of press up on the Bearcats, but that's really the first time they've really applied the pressure. They're able to trap Francis Snyder in the corner. Somehow she was able to break it down. And the Bearcats were able to get it past the timeline without committing the violation, but close call there. Now James in the corner, offside rim, and this one will be Baruch's ball. So now the Bulldogs once again coming with a full court press as Dawson trying to break that one down. Instead it ends up in the hands of Taylor George. Misses on the first attempt but grabs her own rebound and is able to finish on the second one. So Brooklyn coming right back with that as the Bearcats are now able to break it down, but once again nearly picked off by Taylor George. So they're going to have to make that adjustment. Dawson going into contact, and the fouls looks like it's going to be on Jermott here as Dawson's going to go to the line to shoot too. Again, going back to my earlier point, the Bearcats really need to come up with a solution to break down that Brooklyn press, especially off the inbound. Because it seems like everyone's guarded up, but Taylor James seems to be floating in the middle of the court, and she's been able to pick off, or nearly pick off, most of those Bearcat inbounds. Or even the second pass to try to get it past the timeline. So definitely some adjustments needed from the Bearcats, but we're tied once again here, 22-all, as Jermott pulls up from three. A lot of confidence in that shot, just off front rim. And now Nia Dawson pushing it up. A lot of pace, and that one rolls around. And count the 2 points for Nia Dawson. And she's been a tremendous transfer here for the Bearcats. Really bringing in that primary scoring option that this young lineup needed. And now Coach Strozos is enjoying the benefit of that. The Bearcats with a much improved record this year. 13-8, 7-5 CUNYAC, but they have the chance to really play spoiler to Brooklyn here today. Obviously, the Bearcats are still in playoff contention, but Brooklyn looking to lock up that #1 seed. As now Taylor George is going to draw the charge off Spyu. So I believe here tonight, depending on the outcome of the John Jay game, if Brooklyn is able to win, they might be able to lock up that #1 seed in the CUNYAC tournament, which is always huge. So again, Baruch's in a position to potentially counteract that. Millie on Pena here. Back out to James. Now Taylor George in the corner, guarded by Spyu. Pena at the top. Kicked out to Sarah James in the corner. High arcing three, no good. Rebounded by James. Now Taylor George working down Samir Ahmed. Throws up the shot off high glass, no good. Offensive rebound, Jermott, no good on the second attempt, but this one's going to stay with Brooklyn. So a lot of second and third chances coming for the Bulldogs. It could likely be credited to some of the height mismatch down low. But again, the Bulldogs aren't necessarily going with their tallest look here. So it's really just good second and third effort there by the Bulldogs to keep these possessions alive. Bearcats holding on to a 2-point lead. Taylor George guarded by Nia Dawson. Spyu on Goodman. Now James coming with a right wing three. Knocked that one down, and Brooklyn once again takes the lead. So it's been a game of lead changes here thus far. Brooklyn coming with a ton of pressure. Nearly broke that one down as Samir Ahmed lost the ball. But in the loose ball process, Brooklyn kind of swarmed it and knocked it out of bounds. So now Samir Ahmed will take it up past half court. Kick back out to Rivera, who's now back on the floor. Going to Spyu, working around the defenders. Going up and over off glass, rolling out. Offensive rebound, Spyu, good on the second attempt. Baruch bench not happy with that one, calling for a foul, and I definitely saw a little bit of contact as well, but nonetheless, good second effort there by Melinda Spyu. It's going to be a foul on Caitlin Rivera. It's going to be a team foul, so it'll be underneath for Brooklyn.
Both teams playing very disciplined.
Pena will inbound to Taylor George, just a little bit high, and that one goes into the bleachers as the Bearcats will regain possession.
So Taylor George is listed 5 foot in the program, and I always joke with her that the way she plays, she feels like she's 6 foot. But in that case, you gotta understand that you can't throw it that high up.
Mott will exit the game. Back in comes Sarah Labiner. 5:14 to play. Bulldogs trailing by 1.
Now Samir Ahmed working on Michelle Pena. Danielle Zerpolo going back out to Nia Dawson. 3 ball off glass, no good, but again bringing a lot of pressure. Brooklyn able to break it down pretty easily. Here's Taylor George from 3, and she gets fouled by Zerpolo. So she's going to go to the line to shoot 3. Again, don't know if I love that foul there. That's a lot easier said than done in the moment when things are moving a lot faster. It looked like Zerpolo just wanted to put a little bit of body and an arm up on what would have been an uncontested 3-point attempt. But nonetheless, Taylor George good on the first.
First free throw from Taylor George is good. Bulldogs trail. It's now tied at 26. Second free throw from George is up and is good.
This is
good on the second.
Last game against CSI, they had plenty of opportunities at the foul shot range and just could not make those baskets. And that's what the difference maker was in the game.
And good on the third. So it's going to be a Brooklyn timeout as they're going to talk things over. They now have a 2-point lead, 28-26, with 4:54 remaining here in the second quarter. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us. So back in action here. Linda Spyu set to inbound. Shifting around the baseline. She'll find Samir Ahmed. Nice job breaking that one down. This ball is kicked, though. And Caitlin Rivera can't corral that one. So Taylor George is going to push it right back up. Here's James, fed inside to Lavender. That one nearly stripped by Samir Ahmed. Now straightaway three. Taylor George knocks that down. So that's a quick 6 points out of Taylor George. There's going to be a Baruch timeout. So seems like we just got back on the air, but we'll sign off for a few moments. Please stay with us. So once again, we are back here as Spyu inbounds to Daniela Zerpolo. She'll go to Nia Dawson, and the Bearcats are past half court. Dawson working inside. Jumper from Daniela Zerpolo is good. Able to knock that one down, chip away. Taylor George created a pretty nice deficit here for Brooklyn, stringing together 6 consecutive points in the matter of 30 seconds or so. Make that 8 now. Again, the Bearcats don't want to see this deficit get too much bigger than this because obviously Brooklyn coming into here with a really good record. You knew Baruch was going to have a tough time trying to counteract some of that offense, but they've done a really good job thus far, and you just would love to see them continue it through 4 quarters of play. So Spyu will inbound once again. Now to Snyder, who's trapped in the corner. Spyu on the baseline. Nice crossover move there as she'll find Zerpolo in transition, and Zerpolo kicks it out to Dawson, and Dawson unable to knock down that jumper, but offensive rebound Daniela Zerpolo. Definitely can't say enough about Daniela Zerpolo's offensive rebounds really throughout the course of the season, able to extend a lot of these Bearcat possessions and finish on the 2nd or 3rd attempt. So Dawson looking for Snyder there, but unfortunately Snyder cut the other way. So that one rolls out of bounds, and this one will go back to Brooklyn as Richburg and Jermott will check back in. 3:36 remaining here in the half. Richburg gives it to George. Kick back out up top to Richburg. Now to James. Down low to Jermott. Jermott finds Goodman. Really nice pass and look there from Jermott. Chanel Jermott there. Able to catch the Bearcats off guard. And a pretty easy layup there despite a lot of bodies in the paint. And this one nearly picked up by Brooklyn. It's going to stay with the Bearcats, but Taylor George has essentially been everywhere in the court here thus far. So you're seeing a lot more of that Brooklyn pressure, whereas early on, the Baruch was able to get out of their own zone fairly easily. But now Brooklyn coming with definitely full court pressure. Here's Zerpolo. Long two, and that one's good from straight away. So now only a 5-point deficit. Richburg working on Spyu. That pass goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Baruch ball. Kayla Trembone checking back in for Kaylin Richburg. Spyu's going to find Zerpolo. She'll go back to Snyder. Now kicked out to Dawson. Rivera on the inside, blocked by Chanel Jermott, and they're going to say this one's Brooklyn possession.
That's a big height differential. Chanel Jermott is 5'9". Kaylin Rivera 5'6", and Jermott is able to tower over her.
So now Bulldogs looking to slow it up a little bit here. Kayla Trembone taking it up. Long cross-court pass to Goodman. Now inside to Trembone. Off glass, no good. Offensive rebound, Jermot, but she's stripped by Nia Dawson. And Spayu now pushing it up. Into contact. Scoop layup good from Melinda Spayu. And just like that, it is a one-possession game here. Brooklyn able to string together a really nice run, but now you're seeing Baruch put a stop to it. Minute 50 left here in the second quarter. George again. Cross-court pass outside to Chanel Jermot. She's working on Danielle Zerpolo. The step-back jumper. Offside rim, no good. And that's going to be rebounded by Zerpolo. Push it up to Nia Dawson. Dawson into contact. No good, but she's going to line to shoot too.
It's easy for Chanel Jermot to stop a player like Keelan Rivera. It's not easy to stop a player like Nia Dawson. And Nia Dawson is showing why she is the leader for these Bearcats. Second foul called on Jermot. 14th foul on Brooklyn. Free throw for Dawson.
And Dawson good on the first.
Substitutions for the Bulldogs. Jermot will take a seat. In will come Sarah James. Will do the sub after the second free throw attempt. 35-33, Brooklyn leading with a minute 29 to go. Second free throw from Dawson is up. Dawson.
And no good on the second. This one rebounded by Brooklyn.
Sub will wait for a moment. As Trembone will cross half court. Far right corner for Taylor George.
So George working on Spayu, able to get around her. Off high glass, no good.
By Spayu.
Now Snyder will slow it up for Baruch. Actually, now she's going to push it. Guarded by Taylor George, coming off a screen by Spayu. Spayu now working down Goodman. Francis Snyder, three ball, good. From downtown, Francis Snyder regains the Baruch lead here as we're underneath 1 minute mark. But again, a ton of momentum you're seeing out of the Bearcats now. 2, 3, 4 possessions in a row. So Trembone now at the top. Kicked out to Taylor George, back to Trembone. Taylor George, NBA three, knocks it down. So a ton of lead changes here. Clock winding down, we're underneath 30 seconds. Inbounded to Dawson. Dawson taking a little bit of contact there. Snyder will go to Zerpolo, able to break down the press. Back out up top to Dawson. 12 seconds. The Bearcats can hold for the last possession. 7 seconds now. Francis Snyder, NBA three, off glass, no good. Rebounded by James, and this one is going to halftime. So after 2 quarters of play, the Brooklyn Bulldogs leading the Bearcats 38-36. A lot of really good basketball thus far, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half of action. Stay with us.
In New York City, there is a place for people that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, where if you work hard, the possibilities are endless. A place to learn, train, and play. In that order, the City University of New York Athletic Conference. This is where it all comes together. Find your people, be a part of a team, and don't just play the game. Change the game. Champions aren't born, they're built. The City University of New York. Be exceptional.
And we are back here underway for the third quarter of play between the Bearcats and the Bulldogs. So really good basketball throughout the first half. You saw a ton of lead changes, a lot of good defense, and a lot of big offensive plays. So it's really going to be a matter of which team is able to close it out down the stretch. But just as I say that, Erica James knocks down the three-pointer. And Brooklyn strike first here in the second half. So Snyder working down Taylor George. Dawson back out to Rivera. Samir Ahmed kicks it out to Spayu. Spayu looking to drive. Gets stripped, but recovered by the Bearcats. Nice move there by Dawson. Wow, really nice sequence there by Nia Dawson. Behind the back dribble, then the ball nearly got stripped, and then kind of fighting for that loose ball, she threw it up and knocked down the shot. So just like that, one possession game here again at the Arc Arena. Straightaway three from Michelle Pena, no good. Rebounded Melinda Spayu. Now Samir Ahmed has the ball. She'll drive, pull up then. Spinning around, keeps it alive. Dawson into a lot of contact there, and it looks like the foul's going to be on Jermad again. So Dawson's going to go to the line because it's going to be a shooting foul. And Dawson thus far has done a very good job of getting to the line. And she's good on the first.
Second free throw coming up for Dawson. 41-39, 8:22 to go in the third. Second free throw from Dawson is up.
And second one rattles out. Rebounded James, and Pena's quick to push it up here. Kicked out. James, three ball. Knocks that down again. Count the three ball for number 32, Erica James. Francis Snyder working down Taylor George. Kicked out to Nia Dawson. Dawson calling out the offense. Creating some separation for herself here. Here's Spayu up top. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Trying to work down James. Nice dribbling move. Off glass. It's good. Count the basket for number 25, Melinda Spayu, and she will go to the line to try to convert the three-point play. Really nice move there by Melinda Spayu, showing a lot of body control and able to finish into contact.
Melinda Spayu is a junior. She's got one more year left, and she's really going to help these Bearcats.
And off back rim, rebounded by Labiner. Long three ball. That time from Sarah James, and she's able to knock that down. So the James sisters stringing together 3 consecutive three-pointers for Brooklyn. And that'll get it done, as they now have a 6-point lead over the Bearcats. Again, if Brooklyn can keep hitting that three ball. So Samira Ahmed answers back with a long two. She had to be just a foot from three-point line, but once again, Erica James responds with another three-pointer. So what a run by the James sisters here. Really proving that both of them can shoot it here in the second half. A nice reverse layup there coming from Nia Dawson as she's able to answer back. Once again, 5-point game. Michelle Pena working down Rivera into contact. And she's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Again, you really just got to appreciate the run Brooklyn just went on, with both James sisters, specifically Erica, knocking down 4 three-pointers here in the second half. And Pena's off on the first.
Remember, the game against CSI on Monday, it went down to free throws because both teams were missing a lot of their shots.
All right.
And Dasha Goodman now replaces Sarah.
Taylor, don't come up too high.
So Francis Snyder will walk it up for the Bearcats. Dishes out to Samir Ahmed. Snyder back out to Ahmed. 3 ball. Excuse me, long 2 there. Knocks that one down. So Samir Ahmed really finding her stride here in the second half. Pena now working off a screen from Labiner. Kicks it out to Taylor George. Fed inside to Labiner. Nice defense there by Nia Dawson. Really able to use her body to create good positioning to block the shot and grab that rebound. Now on the other side of the court, Dawson was blocked by Labiner. And Taylor George coming away with it. Wide open look down low for Goodman. And that's a defensive breakdown for the Bearcats. Looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout coming from the Brooklyn bench. So with 5:43 remaining here in the third quarter, Brooklyn leads 53-47. So we are back underway. Bearcats have a pretty tough task here of breaking down the Brooklyn press, which they're able to do so. Now Spyu working down Goodman. Kicked out to Nia Dawson. Francis Snyder guarded by Taylor George. Back out up top to Dawson. Dawson goes to Spyu. 8 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And Spyu loses her dribble. It looks going to be a jump ball here, and this one's going to stay with the Bearcats. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. So the Bearcats are pretty much going to have to just inbound this and throw up a shot. Hopefully it can be a quality look, but again, pretty tough thing to do. 2 seconds, but here's Francis Snyder. Almost gets that one to go as it rolled out, but again, that's a very quality look considering there's 2 seconds left on the shot clock there. Now Michelle Pena up top. Kicks it out to Taylor George. George loses a dribble, stripped by Francis Snyder, and this one's going back to Baruch. Up top to Dawson. Dawson driving. Draws some contact. And she's going to go back to the line. So Nia Dawson doing a great job of drawing those Brooklyn fouls. Clearly Brooklyn's pretty concerned with her and feel like they need to really work extra hard on a defense to try to contain her, as she's the Bearcats' top scoring option thus far here in the 2019-2020 season. So justifiably so. Brooklyn playing a little bit extra defense on Dawson, and they've been getting rung up with foul calls pretty regularly. Dawson no good on the first. And off on the second. So tough break there for Nia Dawson. The Bearcats will look to respond with a defensive stop here.
Always had a very strong bench, and can never discredit the reserves because once in a while they have to come in and they still do a phenomenal job.
Here's Richburg up top, working down Samir Ahmed. Nice move there. Back out to Taylor George. Kicked out to Nancy Pham. 3 ball, rattles around. No good, and rebounded by Brooklyn, but on the pass, they somehow lost it. So then Samir Ahmed was able to corral it, then Brooklyn jumped on the top of her, and it's going to be a jump ball staying with Brooklyn. The refs are going to talk it over here.
What it's about. Are they suggesting to reset the shot clock? I don't think so. I'm not sure either. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Ahmed. No, they switched.
So the officials put an extra second on the shot clock there. And again, it's a game of seconds, so really every second counts. But Brooklyn wasting no time to start attacking the rim. No good on the first attempt from Richburg, but the offensive rebound and finish from Sarah James. And they're going to call a carry here on the Bearcats. So Coach Trozo is going to call a timeout, try to slow things down and get back on the board here. So with 4:03 remaining in the third quarter, Brooklyn leads 55-47. So we are back here live at the Arc Arena. 4 minutes remaining. Richburg dishes it out to George. George, three-pointer. That one rattles out, but that was a pretty open look. And that's going to be a loose ball foul from Nancy Pham. So that is Brooklyn's fourth team foul of the half. Spy looking inbound, but again, Brooklyn appears to be bringing a lot of pressure. This time the Bearcats able to do so pretty easily. Ahmed kicks it out to Daniel Zerpolo. Wide open look. Unable to finish with that one. As Kaylin Richburg takes it down the entire length of the floor. Three ball from Sarah James, and she's knocked that down. So once again, the James sisters coming in with the attack from beyond the perimeter as Taylor George knocks that one out of bounds. So that's really been the difference here in the second half, is both James sisters knocking down their three-point balls, and as long as they can consistently do that, they're really going to capitalize on this lead. Again, sometimes a lot of the approaches keep letting them shoot that, and eventually those aren't going to go, but it seems right now the James sisters really aren't going to stop. In the same light, Nia Dawson attacks the rim once again and gets fouled. So she'll go back to the line to shoot too. So Dawson off on the first there, but again, a huge credit to Nia Dawson for really creating these opportunities for the Bearcats on the offensive end of the ball. And she's able to knock down the second. Erica James once again, three ball. This time no good. And that one's going to go out of bounds and back to Baruch. So that's kind of going back to my earlier point that eventually those shots aren't going to fall, or else everyone would be shooting 1,000%. So Bearcats seem to be taking that approach, and they're going to look to capitalize on that miss here as Samir Ahmed is guarded by Kaylin Richburg. Now she's going baseline. That one's knocked out by Brooklyn, so this one's going to stay with Baruch. So Spayu will inbound. She's going to find Samira Ahmed. Handed back out to Spyu. Spyu ducking the defense with the up and under move, and she's able to knock that one down. And again, we've seen that time and time again. Melinda Spyu not afraid to finish into contact. Nice pass there from Richburg to Pham. And Brooklyn answers right back with 2 points of their own. So Dawson at the top of the key now. Working down Taylor George. Dawson looking for the reverse layup, but she's fouled once again.
Come over. Why are you letting it get all the way over?
It's honestly remarkable how many fouls Nia Dawson has drawn out of this Brooklyn team. And just like that, she will go back to the line to shoot 2.
Guys, look, 22 right now. 22 on me.
That's the 5th foul called against the Bulldogs in this 3rd quarter.
So that's also the Bulldogs' 5th foul. So they're racking them up pretty quickly. They're going to find themselves in 1-on-1 and the bonus pretty soon. But Dawson off on that one.
And this is what we saw in the game Monday against CSI. Both the Dolphins and the Bulldogs struggled with the charity stripe.
Dawson good on the second. So Bearcats now trail by 9. Looking once again for a defensive stop here. Spyu on James. Now Pham dishes back out to Richburg. Here's a screen from Goodman. Still nice defense there by Dawson. All over Richburg. No good. And rebounded by Nia Dawson. She pushes up the court quickly. Daniela Zerpolo goes to Francis Snyder. Beautiful ball movement there by the Bearcats. Going from Dawson to Zerpolo to Snyder. Able to break down the Bulldogs defense. And a pretty easy look there from Francis Snyder. Able to convert off glass. And speaking of off glass, Erica James now working on the inside rather than the perimeter as she's fouled. Basket counts, and she will go to the line for another attempt at a 3-point play. So that's just really a testament to how quickly this basketball game has been moving on both sides of the floor. So James good on the and 1 opportunity. And just like that, Brooklyn has a 10-point lead. So Bearcats are really going to have to string together a few quality possessions if they want to stay in this one. 10 points is certainly not insurmountable, but you definitely can't let it get too much more of a deficit than that. So now Millie Yee, give it back up the top to Snyder. Spyu trying to work on Zerpolo inside. That one clearly knocked out by Erica James. Good call by the officials, and it's going to stay with Baruch. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Snyder, handoff to Spyu. Spyu looking for Dawson. Dawson was kind of tied up with the defender there. Ball goes out of bounds and back to the Bulldogs. So again, if Brooklyn can really keep this offensive pressure going, they're in very good position to try to get the win here and then ultimately the playoff seeding that they want. And once again, Erica James off glass and good. So to have somebody who's a dual threat, not only from beyond the perimeter, but on the inside with some nice height, some nice post moves. You don't typically see that every day. Daniela Zerpolo gets fouled going up, and she's going to go to the line. Again, Erica James has really been the difference maker here for Brooklyn. Freshman guard out of James Madison High School. And Zerpolo off on the first. So Bearcats definitely struggling from the charity stripe here tonight. Good on the second. Zerpolo is one of the team's better free throw shooters. So again, 30 seconds left. 0.7 separating the game and shot clock. So Brooklyn can pretty much hold here. And they'll do exactly that. Looks like at about the 10-second mark, they're going to get things going. So Spayu guarding Richburg. Now to Pham in the corner. Pham's driving it on Yee. She's looking inside for Jamot. No good. Nia Dawson taking it through the floor. Half-court heave. And that one goes in and out. But an exciting finish to the third quarter there as Nia Dawson nearly knocks down the half-court shot. So actually, stay with me here. They're going to call another foul on Brooklyn. When Nia Dawson was going for that long three-pointer, she in fact was fouled. Pretty big development here. So now Nia Dawson will go to the line to shoot 3. So Brooklyn's been fouling Nia Dawson throughout the course of this entire game, and now she has 3 more opportunities to go to the line. And that would be a big momentum swing to see if the Bearcats chip away at this deficit.
That's got to be obvious. That was
Dawson good on the first. So technically speaking, Dawson has the opportunity to make this an 8-point deficit. Good on the second. And that's a huge turn of events where essentially it was a half-court heave. It's one of those shots that you throw up and see if they can go in. So really bad foul there on Brooklyn. And good on the third. So Nia Dawson put whatever struggles from beyond the free throw line behind you. Able to convert on all 3 there going into the fourth quarter. So Brooklyn still leads 65-57. We'll be back in a few. So back underway here at the Arc Arena in the first half of the Brooklyn and Baruch doubleheader. Brooklyn jumped out to a pretty sizable deficit there with the attack of the James sisters. Specifically, Erica able to knock down a ton of three-pointers. But the Bearcats really did a good job responding late in the third quarter, and Nia Dawson went to the line after throwing up a half-court heave and knocked down all free throws, as Samir Ahmed converts with another long 2. But the Bearcats are very much in this thing against Brooklyn, who's coming into this one undefeated in CUNYAC play. So Bearcats definitely rising to the occasion. Nice move there by Chanel Germot, able to grab a second and third rebound, and ultimately she's fouled by Danielle Zerpolo. And Germot off on the first. And the second one rattles home. So once again, now a 7-point deficit. as Dawson will give it to Spyu, able to break down the press. Now Brooklyn coming back with the press. And it's going to be a kick ball violation on Brooklyn. This one's staying with Baruch, going down on the baseline. If the Bearcats can string together a few good runs here, they're very much in this game and could potentially even take the lead. Samir Ahmed, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebounded George. George pushing it up, letting the offense catch up. No good. So Sarah James grabbed the rebound, got the offensive rebound, and then she was ultimately fouled. The shot came from her sister Erica. First one is no good. Now Spyu put on some nice dribbles there, but unfortunately she was stripped after putting on a few good moves. A lot of commotion going on both sides of the floor here. Spyu was slow to get up. Then Michelle Pena took a lot of contact on the other side. No foul call there. Now Brooklyn rebounds the ball, and they're pushing it back up. But again, both sides a little slow to get up, and justifiably so. Here's Taylor George. Three ball, no good. Offensive rebound, Jermott, and once again fouled by Daniela Zapolo. So pretty chaotic sequence there out of both sides. Spyu was doing a really good job of dribbling throughout defenders, but then not only was she stripped, it looked like she took some contact and looked like a few of the defenders fell on her, so she appears to be okay. So she was slow to get up, and then on the other side of the floor, so no good on the second. Michelle Pena took it up, took a lot of contact with no call. But now both sides able to just collect their breath during the foul shots. Here's Snyder now going to Samir Ahmed. Pass to Daniela Zapolo, kicked out Spyu, pump fake. 7 seconds left on the shot clock here. Nice spin move by Spyu, and they're going to call it travel, but I really didn't see too much of a travel there. She had her pivot foot down, made a nice spin move there, and able to knock down the jumper, but nonetheless, the basket is no good, and this one will go back to Brooklyn. Again, at this point in the game, every possession is essentially crucial for Baruch. They really need to keep chipping away at this deficit. So a call like that hurts. Michelle Pena, corner three, off the side of the backboard, but once again, an offensive rebound by Chanel Jermott as she drives on Dawson. And that one's good as Coach Trozos is going to call a timeout and talk it over with the Bearcats. So with 7:17 remaining, Brooklyn leading 70-59. Back in action here. Bearcats looking to inbound. Gets that off to Dawson, but she's trapped in the corner. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going back to Brooklyn. Michelle Pena will inbound for the Bulldogs. Passed into Sarah James. Sarah James, another three ball. Off the rim, no good. And Taylor George corrals the offensive rebound. So again, Brooklyn has done a very good job here tonight with their offensive rebounds, and it's going to pay dividends down the stretch. And Jamot able to convert on that one. Bearcats able to break down the press. Here's Samir Ahmed going hard to the rack. And she's tripped up by Taylor George. So Dasha Goodman will check back in for Sarah James.
Come on, tough D, guys, tough D. Come on, tough.
Inbound is Dawson. Ahmed looking for a pass. Instead, she'll pull up. That one rattles out. Rebounded by Jermott, and it's going to be taken up by Pena. Pena looking to work Goodman on the inside. Daniela Zerpolo nearly picked that one off, but they're going to call a foul there. And she's racking up some fouls pretty quickly. Yeah, that's going to be her fourth personal. So she's one away from fouling out naturally. I'm assuming this sub is going to be for her, and it is. Millie Yee will check back onto the floor. And again, haven't seen a ton of Millie Yee tonight. Inbounded to George. George working down Snyder baseline, creates a little separation. And Brooklyn nearly corrals that offensive rebound once again. But Snyder able to dribble it up. Here's Dawson going to the rim off glass, and it's good. Able to blow by her defender. So Bearcats not going down easy here. Again, they're going to have to string together a couple stop and scores to really keep this thing interesting. And Jamont nearly beat Nia Dawson on the inside, but just unable to finish there. So Dawson's going to take it up for the Bearcats. Kicked out to Millie Yee. Yee going up top to Samir Ahmed. Long two, knocks that down. Again, Samir Ahmed's shooting very consistently here tonight. You're almost going to want to see this Bearcats offense continuing to give her the ball from similar spot there. Seems to be a little bit of a sweet spot there in the long two. Taylor George guarded by Frances Snyder here, which has been a good matchup thus far. And she's going to be fouled there by Snyder. George off on the first there. And good on the second. Bulldogs pressing again. Ahmed looking for Millie Yee, just a little bit too anxious on that pass as that one goes into the Bearcats bench. Tough break there with the turnover. Even though Bearcats were pretty quick in transition there, you'd almost rather see them slow it down, kick it back up top, and get a quality look here. Now underneath the 5-minute mark. Still trailing by 10. You really need every offensive possession you can get. Dawson nearly picked that one off. Cross-court pass to Goodman. The up and under move, no good, but she'll go to the line as she's fouled by Samir Ahmed.
Samira Ahmed.
Bearcats are now over the foul limit. That is the foul.
Number 35.
Pass down to the sixth foul now as a team. They're over the foul limit, and the Bulldogs now will get free throws for the rest of this game going forward. Now the question is they have to start knocking them down. Bulldogs leading by 2. Free throws coming for Dr. Goodman. First free throw is up. It's good. Bulldogs go up by 11.
And good on the first.
Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, 7:09 to go in the third quarter. The Bloodhounds are leading 51.
And Goodman's good on both. So once again, Brooklyn will come with a lot of pressure on the Bearcats coming out the inbound as Snyder's able to dribble around the trap there. Long pass to Dawson. Dawson off glass, no good. And that's a pretty tough look there because Millie Yee was wide open down low. Dawson now going into contact. Instead, passes it to Spyu. Spyu unable to get that one to finish, but this one's going to stay with Baruch once again. So a few tough breaks here for the Bearcats, but nonetheless, they've held on to the possession.
4:18 remaining. Bulldogs up 75-63. Referee's wiping up a wet spot behind the court.
Hey, timeout, Courtney, timeout. Full.
And Brooklyn's going to call a full timeout here to talk it over. At this point, a defensive stop or two should just about do it. So with 4:18 remaining, Brooklyn leading 75-63. We'll be back in a minute. So we are back here. Bearcats looking to inbound. Brooklyn likely drew something up. And let's see what the call is here.
You see what they want to do, guys?
It was a warning.
Yeah, that's a delay of game warning. The second time will be a
KT, come over a little. Watch 3. Taylor, watch more line.
I didn't know that.
Yep, it's also been done in the
SJ,
NBA.
player.
I thought that was just simply you call delay a game and then it took.
And looked like there was a call there on Brooklyn, some form of a delay of game warning. And Millie Yee blocked there, but again into enough contact to warrant a foul call. So she will go to the line to shoot 2, and that is somebody you definitely want at the line. And that'll bring in Val Michi for her first minutes here tonight as Samir Ahmed will check out.
Going to the bench is Ahmed, who has 4 fouls.
SJ, when we're red, play it like you usually play it. Be back.
Second foul for the Bulldogs.
So Millie Yee off on the first. Again, that's a tough break this late in the game. And off on the second, so an uncharacteristic double miss there out of Millie Yee. Bearcats definitely in a little bit of a tough spot here. But again, they knew the opponent who was coming in here tonight with Brooklyn. Undefeated 11-0 CUNYAC record, and I think they played a very good game here. So they'll look to close it out strong. At the same time, Brooklyn will look to continue to capitalize on this lead as Sarah James will go to the line to shoot 2. Again, a lot of second and third chances. That's likely accredited to some of the height mismatches down low. Just pretty much from top to bottom, the Bearcats aren't a very tall team. So anytime you bring some of those 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot and over, good on the first there. Yeah, anytime you have a 4 or 5 coming in at 6 foot or over, it's the Bearcats definitely have a tall order, no pun intended there, to try to corral some of those rebounds down low. And it's not easy, but a lot of times they just try to essentially out-athletic them, if that makes sense. Just bring in a lot of speed and athleticism down low, and for the most part, that really seems to work. As Samir Ahmed looking for that 2-ball, no good. Rebounded by James, brought up by Richburg. Richburg off glass, no good. This one is last off Goodman, they're going to call. So this one's going to go back to Baruch. But they now trail by 14. So Dawson pushing it up quickly. She knows time is of the essence here. Francis Snyder, 3-ball, rattles that one home. Love to see that out of Francis Snyder there. And if you want to chip away at that big lead, 3-ball is the best way to do it. So now the Bearcats need a stop here. Closing in on the 3-minute mark. Brooklyn just trying to take some time off the clock here. As Richburg comes in with some pretty good momentum behind her. Looking for James down low, and she's just unable to handle that. So Spio will inbound it to Francis Snyder. Looked like Francis Snyder even had a little bit of dribbling lane here. Instead, passes out Nia Dawson. Nice move there, just unable to finish. So it's going to be rebounded by Pham and brought up by Richburg. But again, tough break there for Baruch. And Richburg going right back to James for the second consecutive possession. This time she finds her, and James is able to finish off glass. So closing in on the 2-minute mark, Bearcats trailing by 13. Francis Snyder looking for the layup. And Sarah James, Kaylin Richburg gets called for the foul there. So double sub here as Erica James and Chanel Dermott both check back in for the Bulldogs. Again, Bearcats find themselves in a tough spot now. Snyder good on the first.
79-67 with 2:06 remaining. Bulldogs leading by 12. Second free throw coming from Snyder. Bulldogs are at 3 team fouls. Snyder knocks down 2.
And Snyder good on the second.
2:06 to play. 2 minutes, still plenty of time as the Bulldogs leading by 11. Now George gets the ball back and now backs it up, taking time off the clock.
Once again, Brooklyn doing the smart thing here and just trying to wind down that shot clock. No sense in really forcing those offensive possessions and in turn saving some precious time on the clock for the Bearcats. Another offensive rebound by Jermott, this time unable to finish. Spyu brings it up. Here's Millie Yee. Wide open 3 off side rim and corralled by Brooklyn. And Erica James knocks that one down. So once again, proving that the Bearcats need to guard her from beyond the perimeter. But at this point, it's a little bit too late. Closing in underneath 1 minute now. And Spivey lost her dribble there to Chanel Jermott, and she will dribble it past the timeline. And likely, at this point, just try to wind down that clock once again. Now Richburg with Mitchie. Really nice move there by Richburg. Offensive rebound, Dramont, and she's fouled. 28.1 left here on the board.
Stay undefeated. Foul is called against Mitchie. It's her first.
They did not take the Bearcats for granted because the Bearcats did definitely played a very strong game. It was the fourth quarter that the Bulldogs were able to pull away.
Free throw is no good from Jamont. Second free throw coming.
And good on the second.
64-24 over the Cougars.
So this should be the final possession here for Baruch. 20 seconds left as Dawson goes into contact. This time, no call. Rebounded by Richburg, and Brooklyn should pretty much just be able to dribble it out here. Closing in on 10 seconds. So Brooklyn will improve to 17-6 on the season, and they stay undefeated in Cuniac at 12-0. Bearcats fall to 13-9, 7-6 Cuniac. So after 4 quarters of play here at the Arc Arena, Brooklyn takes this one, 83-68. Please stay with us in about 20 minutes because we will have the men's broadcast and the men's half of the doubleheader. So be sure to tune in for that. And for Brian Flannery, thank you for tuning in with us. Have a good night, everyone.